Okay, so let's recite together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the sublime, the victorious, and the totally self-enlightened one. Okay, welcome everyone. Very good to see you all. Today, finally, we are going to start with the last part of chapter 8, which is Panyati, concepts. In previous chapters, we have touched on a little bit about concepts. In this last part, there is a little bit more details. So let's take a look. It's very interesting also. First, we will start with the Pali word Panyati concept. Yeah. So this word has two meanings, one active meaning and a passive meaning. The first meaning of Panyati concept is that which is made known. So it is something that is made known. So the thing itself. In Pali, that is called Attapanyati, the thing itself. For example, let's say a mountain. So this mountain, the thing itself, it's called an Attapanyati. And there is another meaning to apanyati. It is that which makes known. So nama panyati. That is the name itself. So we call this thing that we are looking at here mountain, right? So the name itself is also a concept. So here we have two things in the active sense and in the passive sense. We all know that what we call mountain, this thing, this mountain, is actually made up of rupa, the eight inseparables. They are combined in a different way. Pile up this rupa, they are arranged in this way that we call this thing a mountain, right? So the thing itself is also a concept because mountain in reality does not exist. It's like a bunch of rock and sand and ultimate reality, only rupas, right? And so this is what we call Attapanyati, the thing concept, thing itself. And then the second one is the name of the thing that we are referring to. So that is what we call mountain, no? So sometimes in other language, we might call it yama in Japanese, for example, mountain in English. So this name can be different depending on the language, but it refers to this thing that we see here, yeah? So here we have two kinds of panyati, the atta panyati, the thing concept, the thing itself, and the name of it, nama panyati. Okay, so among name concept and thing concept, they can further be divided or classified into different types. So let's take a look of Attapanyati first. Attapanyati, the concept of what is made known, so the thing itself. Yeah. Now the first type that we have here is called Santana Panyati. So in English, translated as continuity concept. So what is it? What does it mean? Santana means continuation or continuity. So that means those material properties are arranged in a continuity so that they are seen as land or mountain and so on. No? So if we see the mountain, it looks to the eyes, at least for us, it looks like it is the same mountain yesterday, it is the same mountain today, and it will be the same mountain tomorrow. It doesn't change so quickly, right? So these material properties, they are arranged in a way that it seems like it's continuing. It continues to exist in that way. So this type of concept is called Santana Panyati, continuity concept. Then we have another type of concept, think concept, that is called Samuha Panyati. So in English, translated as collection concept. So what are these? Different parts are put together as a collection. For example, a car. What is a car? A car is a collection of many different things, wheels, like chair, seats, an engine, and all these things put together. We call it a car. No? So it's a collection of other things. and then we give it a name, a car. No? So this is what is called collection concept, samuha panyati. Well, again, in ultimate reality, it is only rupa, no? But we call it a car. That's why this car itself does not exist. So it is a concept. It is a thing concept here. Okay, then we have another type of thing concept that is called the sattha panyati. That is a being concept. So what do we call a being, a person or an individual or an animal? Now, let's say here a dog and a girl. In ultimate reality, it is the collection of the 5 aggregates. No? Citta, cetasika, and rupa is the combination of these 3 things, and we call it a being. So this being in itself, like a dog or a girl, does not really exist. So this is also a concept, and this is called the being concept, sattha panyati. Then we have another type that is called disa panyati, direction concept, and kala panyati, time concept. So depending on the position of the sun and the moon, we sometimes say this is north, this is east, north is southwest, and then it is morning, it is noon, it's evening, and so on. No? So these are also different types of concepts. Now, for disa panyati, direction concept, depends on the position of the sun. If the sun is rising from that side or is setting from that side, so we see the directions according to the position of the sun and the earth as well, no, relatively. So north, east, south, west, and all this depends on the position of the sun. Then kala panyati, the time concept, it also depends on the course of the sun or how it is turning, how the rotation, how it is turning. So if the sun is at a certain point, then we call it noon, or we call it morning, or we call it afternoon, and so on. You know? So regarding this, disa panyati and kala panyati, it is in ultimate reality, it does not exist because remember, for something to be an ultimate reality, it must have its own arising, existing, and ceasing moment. No? So this thing is that does not have these 3 moments. It's called concept. It's only a concept, not ultimate reality. Okay, and then we have another type of concept, and that's the akasa panyati, space concept. So when we see, let's say, a well, so there's a space in between. So there is something that we cannot touch. So this is delimited by something else. No? For example, a well or a cave or something similar. There is a hollow here. No? So Sayadaw Silananda explained that this concept depends on the mode of the non-impact. So there is something delimiting a space. This thing that is we cannot touch, and this hollow is called a space. For example, it can be inside this hole or inside this vessel, that there is a space here. So this is called the akasa panyati, space concept. Then again, we have another concept that is called the Kasiṇa panyati. Now this, we might be a little bit familiar with it because of the Kasiṇa object, for samatha meditation. In the beginning, it is something real. It is, let's say this earth Kasiṇa, it is made from earth, but an earth disk. This is rupa, it's real rupa. But when we practice, then we try to look at this object again. When we practice samatha, we try to look at this object again and again and again and again until this object is imprinted in the mind. Then when we close our eyes, we still see this object, right? So this object is not ultimate reality anymore, and it has converted into a concept in the mind for this samatha meditation practice. So this is called the Kasiṇa panyati. Now later on in chapter 9, which we are going to start today, we will talk about the 40 types of different meditation object for samatha, and this Kasiṇa will come up again. Then by that time, we will explore a little bit more about the different kinds of Kasiṇa. So there is this Kasiṇa concept, Kasiṇa object. All right, so up till here, we have seen that there are 7 kinds of different thing concept. Something that is arranged in a way that it looks like a continuity. So this we call it Santana Panyati, continuity concept. And something which is a collection of something else, that's called Samuha Panyati, collection concept. Then we have being concept, and direction concept, time concept, space concept, and the Kasiṇa object, the Kasiṇa concept for samatha meditation. So here we have seen 7 types of different Atta Panyati, the concept of what something that is made known. Yeah. Okay, so that's about the Atta Panyati. Very interesting. There are very many different kinds of concepts that the mind can understand. Yeah. Okay, up to here, all good? Yes? Okay, so let's go to Nama Panyati. Nama Panyati is the name, or that which makes known. So we have this thing here, and we call it a mountain. So this mountain, the mountain itself is a name concept, Nama Panyati. Okay, so let's take a look. In Nama Panyati, there are also different kinds of Nama Panyati. Again, it is very interesting. So what types of Nama Panyati is there? So there is the first type that is called the Vijamana Panyati. That's the concept of the real. And what does that mean? Concept of the real. What is real here? Vijamana means existing, something that is real, something that really exists. So what really exists? In ultimate reality, what exists? Nama and Rupa. No? So Chitta, Cetasika, and the different kinds of Rupa, the 4 great elements and the other types of dependent material properties. So all these things exist in reality. So the name of something that really exists is called the concept of the real. So the name of the ultimate reality. For example, Chitta, this word Chitta. Well, Chitta, in reality, it really exists, no? Consciousness really exists, but the word, the name of it, it's a concept. Yeah, we can call it chitta, we can call it consciousness, or we can call it in some other language, in other ways. Then we have lobha, greed, dosa, moha. So all these names, rupa, earth, or patavi, or water, abo, fire, tejo, wind, abo. So all these names, the names of ultimate reality, names of something that really exists, is called the concept of the real, of something that is real. Vijamana Panyati, that's the first type. Then we have another type that is called Avijamana Panyati, the concept of the unreal. So what does that mean? Something that is not ultimate reality. Now, for example, a house or a dog, a girl. So in this case, neither does the house, the thing itself exists in ultimate reality. It is also a concept, and the name also is a concept. So let's say the concept of the concept, the name of something that is a concept. So that's called the concept of something unreal, house or dog or girl, like that. Then we have another type, which is called Vijamanena Avijamana Panyati. In English, it is translated as the concept of the unreal by means of the real. It sounds a little bit like complicated or confused, no? But here we will see with the example what does that mean. For example, if we say a possessor of jhana, yeah, so possessor, the person does not exist, so it's something not real. But jhana is in ultimate reality, it exists, right? It's something real. So the concept of the unreal, the person by means of the real, so the possessor of jhana. This concept is called the concept of the unreal by means of the real. Or, for example, possessor of wisdom, someone that has wisdom. No, so the person that has the wisdom, the possessor does not exist, but wisdom really exists. No, panya exists. So that is what is called the concept of the unreal by means of the real. Okay, then we have another type again. That's called Avijamanena Vijamana Panyati. The concept of the real by means of the unreal. Now, what is it? For example, that's, let's say, the girl's voice. So here, the girl does not exist now in ultimate reality as a concept, but the voice, which is sound, sound is rupa, no? So it really exists. So in this case, the girl's voice is a concept of the real by means of the unreal. No? So we said this sound, the voice produced by the girl, no? The girl does not exist, but the sound does exist, yeah? So that's another kind of name concept. Okay, then we have another type, which is called the Vijamana Panyati. Concept of the real by means of the real. So that means both are real, yeah? So what is it? For example, the word I consciousness, no? So I consciousness, I sensitivity really exists. It really exists. Consciousness itself, chitta, also exists, right? So that is the I consciousness is the name of something that really exists. So it's concept of the real by means of the real. So both are real here. Okay, both exist in ultimate reality. That's another type. Then we have another type that is avijamana panyati, concept of the unreal by means of the unreal. For example, what? For example, the king's son. So the king is not real, does not exist. The sun also does not exist. So in this case, this word, this name here is the concept of something that is unreal by means of something that is unreal. The sun is unreal by means of the king's son. So that's also unreal. So that's another type of panyati, name concept. So here we have seen 6 types of different name concept. So the concept of the real, the concept of something that is ultimate reality, the name of the ultimate reality, for example, chitta, loba, rupa, etc. Then the concept of the unreal, house, dog, girl, anything that is not ultimate reality. The name of those are the concept of the unreal. Then we have the concept of the unreal by means of the real, or the real by means of the unreal, real by means of real, unreal by means of unreal. So the examples that we have seen right now. So it is very interesting that it is very detailed in the Abhidhamma Sangha. It explained about all the possibilities of these names, what it can refer to, what these concepts refer to. All right. So up to here, very quickly, we have already completed the content about concept. So it is just an introduction of what different kinds of concepts are there. But here I would like to add a little bit to put it into our daily life. No? Remember, when we studied mental processes, we have seen how does this concept arise in the mind, right? When we see something, we don't even think about it. The concept already arises in the mind, right? We already know, let's say when we see this thing, we already know that this is a phone. We don't think twice about it. The concept, but phone is a concept. No, the phone itself is a thing concept, and the name, how I call it a phone. The phone, the name itself, the word itself is another concept, is nama panyati and atta panyati. No? So how does this concept arise in the mind? So for revision purpose, let's go back to look at the mental processes just to refresh our memory of how this arises in the mind. Now, remember let's say I-door mental process, we take something that we see as an example. When we see something, let's say when I consciousness arises, so there will be some visible object that can be seen. But in the first I-door mental process, that process, actually, we do not take the whole object as an object, not the whole thing. So we only take part of the present visible object as object. And then in this first I-door mental process, it only see a little part of the present visible object. Then what happened next is that there will be a type of mind-door mental process that take this present visible object that the I-door mental process just saw. It will hold this past visible object in the mind. Then again, what happened? Then again, another I-door mental process will happen, and then it will take another part of the present visible object as object, and then it will hold in the mind again with another mind-door mental process. So now this mind-door mental process is holding what it has seen previously, the two things that it has seen. Now remember, this graphics here is just for illustration purpose, no? So when we really see something, maybe it's not this big, this part, let's say, so maybe even smaller, no? So it will take a lot of this process. We will repeat many times this process in order for the mind to understand or see this thing, yeah? Okay, then after what happened, another idle mental process will again take another part of the present visible object as its object, and then that type of mind or mental process again will happen holding the past visible object in the mind. Okay, so this process, these two types of process, the idle process and the mind door that holds the past visible object, it will repeat itself again and again and again and again and again until the mind can see that object, like the more details of that object, yeah? Then after that, what happens is that a second type of mind or mental process will take this group of visible object as a whole. Now then, the third type of mind or mental process now really combined what the little parts that it has been holding in the mind, it combines it, and then it takes the whole entity as one object. And it is here where the Atta Panyati arise in the mind, the thing concept. No? So now it is in this mental process that the mind will know that, oh, it is something with the shape of a key, let's say, for example, in this case. But at this time, the key, this word doesn't happen yet. We only know that it is the shape of the thing concept arises in the mind. Then another mind or mental process will take the name now. So with this, the nama panyati arises in the mind. Oh, a key. I saw a key, you know, that this is what it is, no? Okay, so then this name concept, it can vary depending on the language of the person. Someone who speaks English will say a key, or someone that speaks Japanese will say kagi, or in your own language. No, it will happen differently. So that's the name concept. Yeah. So until here, until the mind see the object, the thing concept and the name concept arise, already many idle and mind or mental process have arisen and fallen already. Okay, so what was it? So first, the idle mental process that see the present visible object. Then the one type of mind or mental process that holds the past visible object, and then it will repeat it again and again and again until the mind gets all the details of that object. Then another type of mind or process will arise, combining the information as a whole. Yeah. Then after that, the thing concept arise in another mind or process after combining the thing. Oh, now the mind knows that it's a key. Yeah, the thing concept arise. Then after that, we name it. No, so it's a key. Yeah. So for the mind to understand one little thing, already so many mental processes needs to be done before the mind even knows what it is. Now, sometimes these processes can stop with think concept. So sometimes name concept might not arise. Have you ever have this experience? I think everybody must have. Like sometimes we see something or we see someone and then we see the face and then we just don't remember the name of the person or the name of what is this thing called? No, I know it is here, but I don't remember what is it called. So in that case, then the mind stopped at the thing concept. At that point, then name concept does not arise. Or sometimes when we see something that we don't know what it is. So after the seeing process, the mind or process processed the thing, but we don't know what it is. So what? So the name, the thing concept is there. We know we see the thing, but no name concept arise. No, so this is also possible. Now this is seeing. Now how this concept arises in terms of seeing. Then how about sound? For ear-door process, it happens a little bit differently. In the same way, like eye consciousness, it also do not take the whole word at one time. For example, let's say the word kagi. So this sound is being broken up by different processes. So the first ear-door process only take the first syllable, as is present audioable object, present sound. No, in the first one only take ka, let's say. Then a mind door process hold past audioable object, so the sound, the past sound ka, it takes it in the mind. Then another ear door process arise, taking gi in this case and another syllable, and then another mind door process will arise, and then it hold this different sound together, and then another mind door process will arise, grouping this past sound together as a whole. Then after this, only after that, then another mind door process will know the word, oh, kagi. No, in this case, what happened? Name concept come first. Name concept come first because we know the word, right? So then later on, that if the person understand what is a kagi, in Japanese, it means a key. So if the person understand that, then the atapanyati, the think concept will arise. So for hearing, for sound, name concept come first, and then later, if we understand the word, then the think concept arise in the mind. But if the person do not understand this word, then what? Then we do not understand this word, then the think concept will not arise in the mind in this case. So it depends. If we say a key, if we understand English, then that object, the atapanyati, the think concept will also arise. If we do not understand that, it will not arise, right? Okay. So this is how the different concepts arise in the different types of mental processes. But imagine for only one single word, it took so many processes in order to understand only one word. And now imagine what you are doing at this moment. You are listening to what I'm saying quite quickly, a lot of words, a lot of sentences, and you do not only understand the word, but you understand the concept of what I am talking about, the content. And at the same time, you're looking at the screen. Seeing consciousness is also arising. Now I imagined you can also feel your chair. Then this touch consciousness, is also those processes. Body door is also arising. Or maybe if there are some kind of smell that you might be aware of in your room, that also is happening. For us, it seems like all these things are happening at the same time. But if we look at ultimate reality, so many different processes one by one has to happen for the mind to understand what's going on in ultimate reality. So imagine how quick and how fast, how amazing chitta and this mind, the flow of consciousness, how amazing it is now for us to understand something, see something, and just to survive our daily life. We use all the five senses together. It's in ultimate reality not together, but together. No, it seems like. So this it's really a super computer now, so quick, so fast. So no wonder we believe these things to be real. No, it's because if we look at a movie, even like now we have HD and 4K and I don't know like how many this very amazing resolution. But even before that, with the cartoon, if the Mickey Mouse by frame is moving around, and then when it becomes happy or becomes sad, then we feel and we also become happy and sad. Or even that sometimes the mind is being tricked to believe in those. Then imagine this experience that we are experiencing every day. So we are very much involved in the concepts that is happening all the time. And we forget to see the ultimate reality. No, say in the movie, we believe the person is really walking there. But if we look at it, it's actually just frame by frame photo, different photos put together. But it looks like the person is really walking. So in life also, most of the time we focused on the concept. No, this person makes me angry. Oh, and this person makes me happy. Oh, I like this and I don't like this. Or this food tastes good. And in our experience, it's mostly about concept. So we have to slowly direct our mind to see more ultimate reality. It is not that we are trying to ignore concept. It is not possible, and it is not recommendable. Because this concept, we cannot stop it. It arises. It is a natural part of the mind. No, just like if we eat something, the stomach automatically digests it. We do not have to say, "Oh, stomach, now digest." No, we don't have to do that. Now, when we see something, automatically this process happened. And if the mind have previously seen something like that, then we already know what it is, right? So it is not necessary, and it is not possible also to stop this. But beyond the concept, we have to know that it is not only the concept. So beyond the concept, there is ultimate reality also. So we need to try to understand both. So not only focusing on the concept, but also seeing beyond it. So seeing, yes, this is the concept, this is a mountain, this is a person, but we also understand that in ultimate reality, this is rupa, this is nama, and we are looking through the concept and the ultimate reality. Now, my meditation teacher, Seattle Tejaniya, he always says that most of the time, defilements focus on the concept. Yeah, if we see a chocolate cake, oh, the chocolate cake, a concept, no, we like it. So defilements focus on that. Or a person, oh, this person, I really love her. I really love this person. So the concept is what we have attachment towards. No, if we see to the ultimate reality, what this person that I like, what I'm calling this person is actually the five aggregates. So what do I attach to about these five aggregates, right? What we call another being. Yeah? So defilements usually pay attention to concept, and wisdom usually pays attention to ultimate reality. So it is good that we direct our mind to sometimes slowly increase the frequency that we don't only focus on the concept, but also remember the ultimate reality. No? All right. So sorry, Sanda, I think you raised your hand. Do you want to ask something?
Yes, when you explain how we hear and the nama concept arises in the mind, I was thinking about exactly on the example that you gave with Kagi. For us, for instance, now we know the term, so there is another nama concept arising that translates it to our language, or for me, this is not my mother language. So sometimes, but maybe at the level of another language, you become so accustomed that you don't need to translate. But in the first stages, you need to translate. So when that, so the question is that the nama concept arises twice when those situations are so.
Yes, yes. So let's say, for example, we understand, let's say now we know this word kagi in Japanese, it means key, yeah. So, but in the beginning, when we don't understand it, it's just a sound. It's just like a mosquito sound or a peeping sound. It doesn't mean anything. So we do not see a thing concept in the mind. But now we understand that, then we imagine like the key happened in the mind. So we know the key. And then we translate, if we translate this thing into another language, then those are all mind or mental process that is happening after the first mind or mental process. In the mind, a lot of mind or mental process happens. Actually, so much more than the five sense processes. Because imagine for us to process a word, the ear door process, it only takes the sound, no, the sound, the different syllables, and it takes. But the mind door process are more. It has to take the hold on to the one sound and then hold on to another sound, combine it, and then make sense of it, and then the sentence and so on. So in the mind, actually, more mind door processes are happening. So for the translation, and not only just the translation, in the translation, then another name concept happens in our own language. or in our own language, right? Or in other language that we are thinking. Then later on, we still have to process it to understand the concept of it and then to think about it. And then other mind thought process think, oh, I agree with what she's saying. Oh, no, I don't agree. Oh, I think this way, or I think that way. So all those things that come afterwards are all mind thought processes happening. So it's running really quickly. Zzz, the mind is like that, so fast, so quick.
Yeah, for instance, we talked about the word nama, and even though you know what the word means, it can mean different things in different contexts. So maybe those were the situations that you talked about
Yeah.
as well.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. So it is happening. This supercomputer is processing all this thing all the time without we being aware of that what it is actually doing. No, the mind is doing all this job. Yeah. Thank you for your question. And yes, Claudia.
Yeah, my question is, so because we focus a lot in the concept, then is where the mind can get sick. For example, with obsession, with sicknesses like OCD or different kind of mental issue. I am very curious about this.
If you mean the mind is sick, if you mean the mind is being affected by defilements, then definitely, right? So
yeah, but the defilement is also concept. For
defilement
instance,
is not a
sorry.
concept because in ultimate reality, defilements exist. Loba exists, really exists. Dosa exists,
That's right.
exists. But the word, the name, defilement, what we call it, defilement, kilesa, this word is the concept of the real. Remember, it's the name of
Yes.
something that is real. Yeah. So now when we say that, if we focus on the concept, then it is easier for defilements to arise, no? Because we see things in not in the ultimate sense, not really as it is. For example, if we see a person as a person or as my mother, yeah, so it is more easy for me to have attachment towards this person. So the loba or attachment can arise more easily if I see this person as in ultimate reality, the mind and matter. No, so if we see ultimate reality, this defilement is less. I mean, usually only wisdom see the ultimate reality, right? So it will not be associated with attachment so easily. Yeah. So in that in that sense, then defilements can arise more frequently. Now, when you say sick, sometimes maybe we can associate it with, let's say, depression or anxiety or different things. And usually that is because we are thinking about concept. Why are we anxious? Because we are thinking about, let's say, the future. Well, I don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to get this job? Tomorrow, I don't know. My friend is coming. Like, is he coming? Is he not coming? Like, or we become anxious about something because we focus on the concept, no, most of the time. Yeah, or we become depressed because of defilements also, no, sometimes, no, sometimes. I'm not saying that all the cases, because there can be sometimes the rupa itself, the, let's say, in the brain, maybe some kind of chemical is not being produced, then sometimes some people can have some mental problem, not only because of the mind focusing on concept with defilements, not all the time, but sometimes it can happen. No, let's say a person, if the person say has loba, let's say, then my teacher said, he said sometimes if the mind want 10 things, if we get 8 of them and 2 we didn't get, then we're kind of okay with it. Yeah, we can survive with that. Yeah, but if we want 10 things and we don't get any, then the mind get crazy, right? Well, all that we want, we're not getting anything about it. So we get angry. Dosa also arise. We upset. right? Then depression arises because all my expectations, none of them is being fulfilled. So I'm getting depressed, I'm not happy, I'm upset, right? So because of loba, dosa also arise. And then we get depressed because things do not go the way that I expect it to be. So I want this, I'm not getting this, and this is not fair, and this and that, right? So we get depressed. So sometimes some types of mental problems can come because of our defilements. Not all the time, but sometimes it can be associated also. So if we can see with wisdom, and if we can understand that, is it really realistic what we are expecting, or how this expectation, what is causing this suffering of this depression, what is causing this suffering, or because of my unrealistic expectation, for example. If the mind can slowly understand about this thing, then the person can come out from this depression. Well, Sayadaw U Tejaniya, he himself experienced some kind of depression, and a very strong one in his personal life when he was a lay person. Then later on, then because of constant practice, and then he overcome this kind of depression because of understanding, because of wisdom. So it is possible also, if it is not something about the chemical in the brain or neurons, or sometimes that it can be physical also. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for your answer. Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So anyone, any question? All good? Yeah. All right. So in this case, we have already finished, really completed chapter 8. So congratulations, everyone. Appreciate your effort and your persistence. And we have come to the last chapter of the Abhidhamma Sangha, which is about Kamatana meditation. Okay, so I'm thinking that we may take a break before we go to chapter 9, but I see that Edith has a question.
Yeah, it's I'm a little late, so forgive me.
No worries.
I was just trying to relate it to the five aggregates. I guess it's a perception that would give us or receive all this as like, is this a concept? Is this a name? Is this an object and all that? I was just thinking that sometimes my perception on a sound is like so wrong, and I just smile about it because I think, oh, this is, let's say, I don't know, someone came in, and then I have to smile because it's not possible. But it's just so quick to jump to the conclusion, or so is this I mean, all the concepts are related to perception, right?
Yes, it is related. Sanya, no, perception in Pali, we call it sanya. Sanya is very important, no, because sanya is the thing that perceive the thing what it is. No, we're giving it a name. If we have seen something before, let's say now I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing Edit. So I have seen you before. So sanya recognize, no, that this shape, this form, and this face, it's Edit. Yeah. So that's why I remember you next time I see you. Yeah. So sanya is doing its job, but there is a problem here because there is something that is called sanya vipalasa. So that's the perversion of sanya. No? So we have different kinds of vipalasa. I'm not sure if we're going to look at it. Maybe in chapter 9. So there are different kinds of perversion. So this perception, we are many times tricked by our own perception. No? For example, when we see something, we see a coil of rope, and when we just look at it, when we thought it was a snake, yeah, or something, we get scared. Yeah. So that why did this happen? That's because of sanya. You know, we wrongly perceive something to be something else. Yeah. So this sanya plays an important role there, and also it is important that we know that sanya, this perception, is not always correct. Because we many times, as Eddie said, we always, it happens to us many times that we perceive something wrongly. So therefore, we do not need to trust our perception all the time, thinking that it is like this, it is like this. No, we have to give some space that it might not be that way, because perception can trick us and we can be wrong. Yes, Edith?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's take 5 minutes break, and then coming back, we will start with chapter 9 about Kammatthana meditation. Okay, so see you in 5 minutes. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So, in the chat box, I see that, okay, Bruce is saying that great information, and Claudia is saying also with sound overall when I'm in nature. So different kinds of sounds, yeah. Okay, so talking about sound, since now we are going to start with the meditation chapter, and when talking about sound, I remember this story of Ajahn Chah. Maybe some of you might have heard about it, about sound. So I want to share with you that sometimes when we meditate and we think we need a very quiet place. Yeah, we think we need a dark place or a quiet place, or something that we like, a place that nobody disturb us. No, otherwise we cannot meditate. No, sometimes we think that way, but actually, we can meditate in any time and any moment if we take the object as object only. No, we are not going further than that. Now, this example of Venerable Ajahn Chah in the Thai forest tradition, you might have heard of him, a great teacher. So there is a famous story of his own practice. So it is said that in Thailand, there are, like in all other Asian countries, in Myanmar as well, and in India also, sometimes there are a lot of loudspeakers in the street everywhere in the town. No, so a lot of, sometimes like the festivals or even the monasteries, so they sometimes put, especially when it is an event, a festival, so pop music or like all kinds of things are very loud everywhere. No, so one time, Ajahn Chah, he was meditating in the mountain, like in the small kuti in the mountain. But down in the village, there was an event or a party going on. So there was a lot of noise of the party and of the sound of the music and everything. Then, so he was meditating there, and then he got annoyed by the sound. He said that, how am I gonna meditate? The festival is going on, and it's so noisy and so much music and everything. No, so it's not possible. And so he was getting upset because of the sound that is happening around him. No, in that time, so it's so noisy here. I cannot meditate. No, so but then when he realized that the mind is complaining about the sound, then it got like a thing, no, in the mind, like, well, actually, what am I doing? Like, these people, the people in the village, they're having a good time, they're enjoying themselves, and I'm only making myself miserable up here in the mountain, trying to meditate and thinking that it's not possible. But sound is actually just sound. Sounds, right? When there is sound, it's sound. We can hear it. So sound is just doing its job. But the mind is getting annoyed by the sound. So the mind is actually going to getting this object, is grasping on this object. No? So he said that the mind is actually going out and disturbing the sound, not the sound disturbing the mind, but the mind is taking and grasping on this object. So then later, he thought, actually sound is only sound. If I do not disturb the sound will not disturb me. So it's just let it be. Just let it be. No, if the mind does not hold on to the idea of the sound is not good. I need quiet and it must be like this for meditation and so on. So it's only sound. We can even take it as an object. It's something that arises and passes away, arises and passes away. Sound is only sound. So that with this very deep understanding that then he understood that those, whatever it may be, the sound or sight or whatever, cannot actually disturb him if his mind is not grasping on those objects with the idea. So sound is only sound. So just I remember that, and then thought that sometimes when we listen something, or some sound is happening, and sometimes we get angry, we get annoyed, whatever. But if we remember that sound is just sound and hearing is happening, and we don't get into the concept of the thing and story of the thing, then suffering will be much less. So this is something that we can remember in our daily life. Sometimes when a place is noisy, sometimes we can get annoyed, but actually it is only happening inside. No one is making us angry. It's only the defilements are happening inside of us. We're holding on to the objects. All right. Anyway, let's go to chapter 9, Kammatthana meditation. So everyone ready to start? Yeah. Okay. So Kammatthana, let's first go into this Pali word and see what it means. Now, Kammatthana is made up of two parts, Kamma and Thana, two words. Kamma, it means action. And here it actually means not just any kind of action, but it actually means bhavana, mental development, some kind of action that develops the mind, that helps cultivate the mind. Those kind of action it's meant by kamma here. So action, kamma, action here meaning bhavana, mental development. And thana, what does thana mean? Thana, the first meaning is the arising place. So Kammatthana, the first meaning is the arising place of mental development. The rising place of some kind of action that cultivates the mind, the rising place. Now, in what sense the arising place? So in this sense, Kammatthana means the object of the meditation. That means the arising place, the object that we take for mental development. So that is the first meaning of Kammatthana. So it refers to the meditation object. Yeah. And there is another meaning of Kammatthana. The second meaning, kamma here means higher mental development, and thana, it means the proximate cause. So the proximate cause of higher mental development. So here it means the meditation itself, the cultivation itself. The proximate cause for mental development. So what is the proximate cause for mental development or for cultivation of the mind is meditation itself. So the mental development itself. So Kammatthana has two meanings. That is the object of meditation, which is called Kammatthana, or the subject, the development itself. The chitta and the cetasika that are being developed are called Kammatthana here, the meditation itself. So it have these two types of meaning. Now, Kammatthana, as we have spoken about it many times, we know that there are two types of meditation. We have samatha bhavana and we have vipassana bhavana. So we have the concentration type of meditation, one-pointedness meditation, and then we have the vipassana meditation, insight meditation. We have these two types. Now, before we go into samatha bhavana and vipassana bhavana, I would like to introduce a little bit of what are we going to look at in this chapter 9 before we go into details of everything. So just as introduction. In this chapter 9, we are going to look at the 40 objects of samatha meditation, which are we have 10 kasinas, the kasina disc that we talked about a little while ago. Then we have the asubha object, that means the non-beautiful object. And then we have what is called anusati, recollections. And we have apamenya, the limitless. And we have sanya, perception. And here sanya actually refers to sanya, perception of food, but later we will go into details. Then we have Vavatana, the analysis of the 4 elements, and the arupa jhana objects here. So these are the 40 types of samatha meditation, object of samatha meditation that we are going to look at in this chapter. We're going to go into details, a little bit more details of each of them. And also we are going to look at the meditation object and the temperaments. So it is said that there are different types of temperament for different individuals. So there are people who are called the raga chariya, lustful temperament, people that are more prone to desire or to attachment. Then we have dosa chariya, the hateful temperament, people that more easily get angry. Then we have the moha chariya, the ignorant temperament, the people that are more easily get to with moha, like more that type. And then we have the sada chariya, the faithful temperament. Then we have buddhi chariya, the intellectual temperament, and people who likes to think and analyze. Then we have also vitaka chariya, the thoughtful temperament. So well, this is a little bit different here. That these ones are the person that thinks a lot, that likes to think and keep thinking. And this buddhi is people that like to analyze, the intellectual temperament. Now, so it is said that there are different types of temperament, and also there are different types of meditation object that suits the different kind of people. So this will also be introduced. But now let's not forget that it is also the depending on the individual. Sometimes we are more close to a lustful temperament. Sometimes we're more close to a hateful temperament. Sometimes we also like to think, or sometimes we're intellectual. So it is not exactly that one person. It's maybe more that type. But it does not mean that it does not have other temperament as well, because we all have all these. We all get sometimes a lot of desire. Sometimes we all get angry, moha surely, and then but also sometimes we have sada, and then sometimes we like to analyze things. Sometimes we think a lot. So we all have different degree this kind of temperament, but which one are more prominent? So or at this time of at this stage of life, or we are more let's say previously I don't like to analyze that much, but now at this stage of life I'm liking to analyze things. So maybe at different stage or different time, then also different types of meditation object will be suitable for different situation. So this will also be explained. And also in this chapter, we are also going to look at jhana and abhinya, which is associated with samatha meditation. And we are also going to look at the most important thing, the vipassana meditation. And we are going to look at it by way of the 7 stages of purification and the 10 insight knowledges. Then the attainment of magga and phala, which is the ultimate goal. So all this information are what we are going to look at in this chapter 9. We're going to go into detail item by item. Okay, so this is just a brief introduction of chapter 9. And now we are going to go into the first part of it, which is the kammatthana of samatha meditation and vipassana meditation. Okay, so first of all, we have already just said that there are 2 types of meditation, samatha bhavana and vipassana bhavana. Now, samatha meditation can be found actually in non-Buddhist schools of meditation as well. Now, even before our Buddha arrives in the time in India at that time, there are many different religions that also practice meditation. Sometimes they even have samatha meditation. They even attain jhana and abhinya, right? So this samatha meditation can be found also, of course, in the Buddha's teaching, but also, let's say, in Hinduism, in Jainism, and even in Christianity. people also have different ways of doing this type of concentration meditation. No? So this is not particular to the Buddha's teaching. It can be found in other traditions also. But Vipassana Bhavana can only be found in the Buddha's teaching. So the Buddha taught both Samatha and Vipassana. But other religion, we have not find any other religion or other traditions that teach Vipassana. Okay, so now the Buddha, although he taught Samatha meditation, it is never for the sake of Samatha itself. The Buddha taught Samatha meditation always as a basis for Vipassana meditation. So the Buddha wanted his disciples to always go to Vipassana meditation. So if the person attains jhana and abhinya, that's good, but that's not the final goal of the Buddha's teaching. So even if we get jhana, the Buddha encouraged the person to come out of the jhana and then contemplate about the anicca, dukkha, and anatta nature of the jhana factors. And that is actually vipassana, no? So the Buddha taught both, but the main focus is vipassana. So there are disciples who practiced or who attained magga and phala enlightenment without samatha meditation, without jhana. No, so it is possible, and that is also a good way. But the Buddha also taught that with samatha, that is actually called the excellent way, because the mind is so concentrated and it's so powerful that it can help a lot in the vipassana meditation. No? So if one practices samatha to the degree of jhana, and then the mind is really, really very powerful, and it's like a tool that is very sharp. And with this very sharp knife now, when we change into vipassana meditation, then it easily cuts through the ultimate reality. And we can realize, we can understand the ultimate reality easier. No? So it's a tool for vipassana meditation. Okay, so up till now, all good? All right. Okay, so let's go to samatha meditation first. Now, samatha meditation, let's take a look at this Pali word. Samatha, it means calm or tranquility. So it comes from the root sam, which means to become peaceful. So the word means something that makes some other thing peaceful. Yeah, so samatha meditation, samatha makes something peaceful. No? So what does this meditation, we know that samatha calms something, no? Something that makes some other thing peaceful. So what does it make peaceful, right? We have to understand this. So samatha meditation calms or make peaceful what? The nivaranas and kilesas, the hindrances and the defilements. No? So samatha meditation, it is the meditation which calms or subdues the mental hindrances. It cannot uproot it, but it can calm it or subdues it or temporarily suppress them. Yeah. So let's remember what are the hindrances, nivaranas. Now we have 5 hindrances. Usually we talk about sense desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worried, and then doubt. These 5 hindrances. And also in chapter 7, and other hindrance is being mentioned. So that's ignorance, no? Ignorance. So we can understand that these hindrances, these 5 hindrances are the main hindrance for samatha meditation, and ignorance is the main hindrance for vipassana. So all of them are called nivaranas, hindrances. And how about kilesas? And in chapter 7, we have seen that there are 10 types of kilesas. There are lobha, dosa, moha, the 3 main ones that we are very familiar with them. Then we have also mana, pride, ditthi, wrong view, vicikicca, doubt, tina, sloth, udacha, restlessness, ahirika and anotapa, moral shamelessness and moral fearlessness. So these 10 are called defilements, right? So in this case, samatha meditation can calm or subdue these 6 types of mental hindrances, as well as these 10 types of defilements temporarily. It can suppress them, okay? Now, there is a very interesting question that Sayadaw Usilananda, he explains. Then what about, let's say, an arahant? If a person becomes an arahant, then that means that he or she has no more nivaranas, nor kilesas. There is no more hindrances, nor defilements in him. This is totally purified. No, those hindrances and defilements cannot arise in the mind anymore. So if a person first become arahant, then later he or she practiced samatha meditation and gained jhana. Oh, no, so this samatha meditation that is being practiced by the arahant, in that case, what does it calm? There is no hindrances and no defilements to be calmed, right? So in that case, what is being calmed is the mind itself, right? So when the mind, why does the mind has to be calmed? No, because when the mind takes different kinds of object, when mind arises, all kinds of chitta takes an object, no? So it is actually very busy. It's not calm and not quiet. It always arises, take an object, arises, take an object, no? So it's very busy. And in order to make the mind quiet and calm, sometimes an arhat may also practice samatha meditation and get jhana. So the arhat, he or she focus on just one object. So the mind is not busy. The mind is calmed at that time. So for some period of time, then the mind can experience tranquility and peacefulness, not so busy taking many kinds of different objects. So that's for an arhat. Okay, so this is just something interesting to know that what about an arahant that has no hindrances to become. No? Now let's go back to talk about person who is not an arahant yet. So let's say the normal practitioner. Say for the first jhana to arise, it must be a requisite for the nivaranas and the kilesas to become. No? When we studied the mental process about jhana, we understood that when we take the object and we focus on one object, focus the mind and only looking at this object again and again and again and again, then the mind becomes, the 5 jhana factors become stronger and stronger and stronger. Then it's focusing on that object only. Then at some point, the jhana chitta arise, right? When the 5 jhana factors are strong enough and all the mental hindrances and kilesas have been suppressed to a certain level, then at that time, the first jhana arise. Now the question is, then how about the second jhana to the 5th jhana? If the hindrances and kilesas are not being suppressed, are not being made calm and peaceful, then even the first jhana cannot arise. Right? So that means that for the 2nd and 3rd, 4th, and 5th jhana, then there shouldn't be these hindrances that are disturbing anymore. So what about those? What does the 2nd to the 5th jhana comes then in that case? Right? So in this case, for the 2nd to the 5th jhana, it actually calms the grosser mental factors. Now, remember, in the first jhana, we have the 5 jhanangas, the jhana factors, vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekagata. Now, if the practitioner wants to go on and develop the jhana to 2nd jhana, then the person must leave out or must, how can you say it? Must get rid of vitaka, no, in this case. It's because the 2nd jhana, we only have vichara, piti, sukha, and ekagata. So the meditator thinks that vitaka is still very close to the sense objects, to the sensual desire, still very close. So it is quite gross in that sense. So the meditator try to focus the mind even more, concentrate even more, and then it subdued or inhibit the grosser jhana factor, which in this case is vitaka. So for that, it makes it calm and it does not arise. So there's only vichara, piti, sukha, and ekagata, and the person attained second jhana. And in the third jhana, then vichara is also being left out. Then piti, then sukha becomes upeka also. No, so in this way, the grosser jhana factors are being made peaceful for the higher jhanas. So that's the meaning of samatha meditation, something that makes some other thing peaceful or calm. Okay, all right. So until here, all good? Yeah, okay, so let's go to the next topic, which is the objects for the meditation, for samatha meditation. So as we have just introduced a little bit, we have 40 kinds of objects. We have the 10 kasinas, the kasina disc, and then we have the asubha, meaning negation, subha meaning beautiful, so non-beautiful, the contemplation of something that is not beautiful, no? Then we have anusati, the recollections, apamenya, limitless, which is metta, karuna, mudita, and upeka, no? So we have these 4 limitless, and we have sanya, the perception, about food, and then we have vavatana, the analysis of the 4 elements, and arupa object. So we will go into this one by one to introduce this 40 kind of different objects. Now the first 10 are called the kasinas. Kasiṇa, this Pali word, it actually means a whole or totality. So why is it called a whole or a totality? That's because when we take a kasina object, we take the kasina as a whole, no? The whole kasina as an object. One take the whole of the object, not just part of the object. That's why it is called kasina. Yeah. So when we and now we're going to introduce which 10 kind of kasina is there. But here we just wanted to introduce the word kasina. Why is it called a whole or a totality? Because we take the whole thing as one object. Yeah. So this is an example of an earth disk, Patawi kasina. No. So from now, I'm going to explain a little bit of how the meditator take this Patawi kasina as a meditation object and how to meditate on it. So we will use this example of the earth disk. That's the first type of kasina, Patawi kasina, earth kasina. First of all, if we want to meditate, samatha meditation with an earth kasina, what we first need to do is we need to make an earth disk. So you can use a mold, and then we can put clay on it, and then we make a disk of around 20 centimeters in diameter. So first we have this disk made. Yeah. Then what we need to do is we put the disc in front of oneself, not in a distance, not too far and not too close. And then we look at this disc for again and again and again, for many times, for many hours. We look at it and then we close our eyes and we look at it again and again and again until until we put the mind totally on that kasina. Then in the mind, we can keep repeating in the mind, earth, 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 like that. And Sayalogyi said thousands and thousands of times. We look at it and then we repeat, or we can say patawi, 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 or earth in your own language. That's also possible. Then until one memorizes that image. Now we look at it so many times that image is being imprinted in the mind already. So that means when we close our eyes, we can see this image in the mind. So at that time, we do not need the earth disk anymore. When we see it again and again, we look at it and then we close the eyes again and we see it and we look again and then we close the eyes until... So we know it so well that until we close the eyes, we see exactly that earth disk in the mind. Then at that time, this earth disk has become a concept in the mind. We don't need the actual earth element, the disk anymore. Then it has become a concept in the mind. Okay, at this time, what happened? When one concentrates on that mental image again and again and again and again, the hindrances become less and less. They will be suppressed because we are so focused on this mental image only. We're not thinking about anything else. So this attachment or sensual desire is not arising. There's no ill will. Mind is not getting sleepy. There's no doubt or restlessness at that time. So in this time, the hindrances become less and less and less. And then as the mind becomes clearer and clearer, the image itself also becomes clearer and clearer. In the beginning, when we look at the Earth disk, there might be some kind of imperfection in the disk. Yeah, so these defects is going to slowly disappear in the mind when we keep looking at this mental image again and again. Then this image that will become more and more perfect, and it will even become like a polished mirror. So we continue looking at this mental image again and again in the mind until the image appeared as clear as a polished mirror. So when we see that in the mind, that is called the counterpart sign. The counterpart sign has arisen in the mind. The object has become like that now. Then we continue to concentrate on this clear mental object until the mind has become clear and the mental hindrances have totally settled down. Okay, so we keep this object in the mind, we keep looking at it and looking at it. Then when the mind becomes so concentrated at one point, the jhana chitta will arise in the mind, taking this Patavi Kasiṇa as an object. So that is how a person take the earth disk object, this concept, as the samatha meditation object. So this is how it happens, the process, how we have to practice. So with the other kasinas that we are going to look at now, it's going to be in the same way. We practice in the same way, but the object can be different. So we have 10 kinds of different kasinas that we are going to introduce now. Okay, until here, all good? Any question? Yes, Amar?
So when it reaches the jhana, it will drop the object, right?
No, the jhana chitta continue to take this concept as an object because remember, every chitta must have an object, right? So jhana chitta still takes this concept as its object.
Okay, even all 5 jhanas.
5 jhanas. Okay, now for these 40 types of meditation object, some of them we can attain until the 5th jhana. But some of them, it is not possible. It is only maybe possible until 1st jhana, and it is not possible until higher jhana. So later on, we will see which type of meditation object can lead to all types of jhana and which kind is not possible.
No, I was referring to typically this earth object.
But earth object is possible until the highest jhana is possible. But of course, rupa jhana, no? Because arupa has different object, remember? The infinite space, the chitta that take the infinite space, and then the arupa jhana is different. But until the rupa jhana, it is possible. Patavi, until the 5th jhana is possible.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so that's the first Kasiṇa, the first Patavi Kasiṇa. Now let's go to Abo. Water Kasiṇa. So one can use earth or one can use water. No, for example, we can use clear water in a container like this. We can have a container and have clean water in it, and then we look at it and then contemplate water, or abo. We look at it again and again and again and again until the image get imprinted in the mind, just like the earth disk in the same way. Then later on, we do not need that water anymore. We close the eyes, and then the water, that concept, it's already imprinted in the mind. So we take that mental object and continue with the practice. So sometimes we can, it is said that we can take like water in a container, but also we can use other water like in a lake or in a pond, but it is recommended that we try to have a delimited space. Let's say not the open water, but let's say let's focus on let's say this area or this area, no? So it has some limitation. Otherwise, it's too big for the mind to focus, no? Like let's say the whole pond or the whole lake, like that, yeah? So we focus on, let's say, this area, and then we practice in the same way. So the teachers recommend that something round would be good and easy to focus on. So that's the abo Kasiṇa, water Kasiṇa, and we basically we practice in the same way as the earth element. I mean, earth Kasiṇa, sorry, earth Kasiṇa. Yes, Edith?
So when you focus on one of the elements and you see it in the beginning, you also have to say a mantra, right? And I'm wondering, the mantra being like water or earth. So I'm wondering if you ever lose this mantra or not. So if let's say the image of the water becomes clear in your mind, would you still say water, water?
First of all, I would not call it a mantra, but it is just focusing the mind. It is just helping the mind to focus on that object. Let's say earth, we're focusing on that, on the concept of it, and water, let's say water. But of course, I think when the mind is so very concentrated, when the mental image are so strong, I don't think the mind it's still saying water. I don't think it's doing that anymore, because that will be quite gross already. I think in the beginning, it helps the mind to concentrate. But I think in later process, in later stages, when the mind are concentrated, I don't think that is necessary anymore. Because when you look at the water, the mind already knows that it's water. You don't have to say water or label it for the mind to know that it is water anymore, no, at that time. That's my understanding. Yeah, but I think it is that way.
But in the beginning, it's a must, right? It's necessary.
It's not a must, but it's helpful. It's helpful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the teachers recommend that we practice this way in the beginning. Yes, Apar?
Yes, I would like to also ask about this part about saying the words, but saying the word like water, water, or earth, earth, isn't that initial application and sustained application of the mind that we keep putting the mind onto that, and when they disappear, in fact, one reaches a higher jhana because the mind is more absorbed into the object and it loses then the two factors of applying the mind, and that is when actually the mantra or the wording would also vanish?
Thank you for the question. And so it is related with what Edith is asking. But I think even before one attained the first jhana, that wording or that water is not necessary anymore. That is because now when you mentioned about vitaka and vichara, this actually their job, this Cetasika, their job is taking the object, no? So it goes directly to, let's say, the mental image. So what the Vitaka and Vichara is holding on to is directing the mind. It's sticking, let's say, like Vitaka is like a sticker, no? It stick the mind onto the object, no? So that is putting the mind on the mental image itself, that concept itself. So not the wording of it. Right, but this saying the word or earth, or water in the beginning helps the mind concentrate on or focus on that concept. It helps, it's helpful. But then I think even before arriving to the first jhana, before that, then when the mental image is so clear in the mind, that the mind is so focused that, and I think saying the word will be too busy even for the mind. Yeah, so the mind, I think that will be dropped earlier, and then the mind is only really focusing on that object, then vitaka vichara, the function of it is sticking it to that mental image, that concept there. Now another interesting thing about this vitaka vichara is that then how about the second jhana or third jhana? Then there's no more vitaka vichara. Then that means that the mind does not stick to the object anymore. Then how does that work? No one may ask this question. But then in this case, that's because vitaka and vichara is still a little bit, I mean, it's still gross for higher concentrations, for higher jhana. So when the mind is so skillful in taking this object in the jhana, then the mind do not need this vitaka and vichara for it to go to the object, because it is already so skillful in the jhana already that this vitaka is not necessary, but the mind, let's say like a second nature, or already it goes to that object. Therefore, it can be dropped. So I think it is not about the wording anymore. Is that clear, Apar?
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, Edith, is that okay?
Yes, yeah.
Now, applying this, let's say labeling, even sometimes in Vipassana meditation, some teachers also encourage we do that, no? For example, like when we say, oh, seeing, tasting, or walking, no? Some teachers also encourage us to do that. I think it is helpful in the beginning because for a beginner, the mind is usually quite scattered. We are not used to focus the mind in what we are actually doing. No, when we are walking, we are thinking about something else. What am I going to cook tonight, and what the person told me yesterday, or I'm thinking about something. No, so we don't actually focus or realize that we are even walking. So therefore, this labeling, this tool, it's helpful to bring the mind, or try to bring the mind to what is actually happening in the present moment. So in the beginning, it is helpful. But later on, Sayadaw Tejaniya, he also says that the mind is actually very fast and very quick, and it is when it has a certain skill already, when it is already applying itself to look at the object already, then it is not necessary to say the thing again and again, because the mind already know it. Before you say it, the mind already know it. Actually, it's faster. The saying is very slow, no? Even in the mind is much faster than that. Before we say the word, the mind actually knows that already. So that we can drop it also, no? And when we are at that stage, so it is like the little small wheels. How do you call that? Auxilio, or with the small wheels of the bicycle, the small little two small ones. When the child is learning to ride bicycle, then there are 4 wheels, no? The 2 small little ones up there. So those tools are like those wheels that is helping for the balance. But when the child is skillful enough to ride the bicycle with only 2 wheels, then the parents can take out that small wheel, not need anymore. Yeah. So those labeling are like those tools, like the wheels, small wheels there. When the mind is skillful enough, it's not necessary anymore. Okay. And any other question? All good? Okay, so then let's go to another Kasiṇa. Now we have Abo, then we have Tejo, fire Kasiṇa. Now, how do we practice with fire Kasiṇa? It may be a candle, it can be a fire pit, it can be a campfire. So fire itself, no, live fire. So when we want to develop Kasiṇa, we can make a fire, and then it is suggested that we look at the fire, not just the whole thing, but through a piece of leather or a piece of cloth with a hole on it. So we delimit the space, and we just look at that point, the fire at that area, not the whole thing. So again, when we look at it, then the mind is looking at the fire and the fire and the fire, and focusing the mind on that object, looking at it again and again and again and again, until this image get imprinted in the mind and becomes a concept, becomes a mental object. Then we don't need the actual fire anymore. And when we close our eyes, we see that, yeah, and then it becomes clearer and clearer. And in the same way, like the earth element or water earth Kasiṇa or the water Kasiṇa in this way, in the same way. Okay, then we have Vayo Kasiṇa, the air Kasiṇa. Now, how do we practice with wind or with air? One who wants to develop that, we can concentrate in the wind that is coming through the window, or we can see the movements of the tree. Because wind cannot be seen by the eye, we cannot actually see the wind, but the mind can understand the air movement by looking at the trees that is moving, the leaves or grass, or the window that is blowing the curtain. So we understand that there is wind element. So we focus on that, and then the mind start saying maybe air, and then we focus on that, and then until we have that imprint in the mind, then that becomes the air Kasiṇa. So this is the four, the group of the four elements actually, no? So we have earth, water, fire, and air. Then the next group of Kasiṇa is actually color Kasiṇas. We can also make color disc, no? So the fifth one is called Nila in Pali. So this kind of blue. And then we have Pita, yellow, Lohita, red, and Odata. So with color Kasiṇas, when we use color Kasiṇas, we can paint a circle on, let's say, on a cardboard, or we can cut it out, or we can paint it. Then we concentrate on this round color disc, and then we do the same thing. We put it into in a place that is not too close, not too far, and we keep looking at it, and then we mentally know the blue, or yellow, like that, no? It is recommended when we make this disc to have a background that has a contrast color. So it is easy for the mind to focus on that circle that is with that particular color, either this blue, yellow, red, or white, no? Now, this color Kasiṇas is being practiced in some meditation centers also, for example, in Thailand. And then we have found a video of an introduction of this color Kasiṇa. So in Thailand, there are centers that practitioners, they actually make this disc, this color disc, and then they practice by looking at it, like placing it in a distance not too far, not too close, and then the yogi keeps looking at it again and again and again, and then look at it, and then close their eyes, and then open the eyes again and look at it, and then close their eyes, and until this mental image, this color is being imprinted in the mind. So in the same way, just like the disc, the earth disc, then again, when that color disc is already became a concept and mental image, then we do not need the physical color disc anymore. Then we can just practice anywhere with this mental image of the color. And again, then it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer, and then the mental hindrances become suppressed. Then at some point when the mind is so concentrated, then the jhana chittas may arise, right? Okay, so for this color disc, it is also said that it is possible for one to prepare, let's say, some flowers and put it in a round plate or something, and then we can also use this color, say white. It is also possible. It's not necessarily a round circle with that color. No, also this for color Kasiṇa, it's also possible to use something like this. All right, so let's go to another Kasiṇa that's called the Akasa Kasiṇa, space Kasiṇa. Now we need something that delimits the space, yeah? Now, for example, in this container, then there is space inside there, no? So we can focus on that space, or it can be a tree hole, or it can be anything that has a delimitation for some space. So we focus on that space, 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 like that. So that's the space Kasiṇa. And then we have another one, which is called the Aloka Kasiṇa, light Kasiṇa. Now, the light Kasiṇa can be developed by concentrating on the moon. On the moon. Now, when there is a full moon, then we can look at the moon and use that as the Kasiṇa. Then we'll keep looking at it, close your eyes, look at it like this. Or we can also use lamp light that is steady, that is not flickering, a light. Let's say it can be projected on the wall, or it can be natural light that casts the light on the ground, a circle like that, like this. So we can also use this as light Kasiṇa, something that is going through a skylight, for example. Or we can put a lamp or a torch and project this light on the wall and concentrate on that. It can also be light that is coming from a hole, from a window or from a cave or something. So a beam of sunlight or like that comes through the wall or the window, skylight, whatever it may be. So this is also possible to use this as light Kasiṇa. Okay, so until here, we have seen the 10 types of different Kasiṇas. So we have the group of the 4 elements, earth disk, water disk, air Kasiṇa, fire Kasiṇa. Then we have the color Kasiṇas, Nila, Pita, Lohita, Odata. Then we have space Kasiṇa, and we have light Kasiṇa. So with this 10, it is possible to practice the samatha meditation with this different kind of object. Now, sometimes it is good to practice something that the mind likes. Let's say, for example, let's say this color. Oh, I like blue color. So maybe for me, then it is good to practice with blue color. No, for example, if I don't like red and I keep looking at the red, maybe it's not so pleasant for the mind. Yeah. So remember, in the 5 jhana factors, there are piti is there, joy is there. No. Right. So when we practice, it is good that we focus on something that the mind that brings joy to the mind. Yeah. So the mind keep interested in the thing, and then it gives joy. And so the jhana factors that needs to be cultivated strongly are already there, and it's helpful. No. So you can choose your own object, which one it's more appealing to the mind, and we are interested to maybe make use of that kind of Kasiṇa object, and we can try to practice. Okay, so that's the first group, the 10 Kasiṇas. Now we are going to go to the next group. Oh, yes, Edith?
I was wondering if only seeing these Kasiṇas is important, because then couldn't we just use our computer for example, for both the colors and the
This is a good question. Let's say we look at a video of a fire, no? So it's something that looks like a real fire. Then if we put a cloth on it, then will it work? It's a good question. I will ask my teacher. I would imagine that maybe it could, because anyway, it has to become a mental object at the end. But I'm not sure. I don't know how much the mind could be distracted because it's the computer. That we know the mind somehow knows that it is a computer. We're thinking about something else. I don't know, but maybe we can try. But I think some of those objects are easy to produce. For example, light Kasiṇa. So if we have a lamp, any kind of torch. If you have a wall, then in your meditation room or your bedroom, any place that you can project that light, I think that's easy. We have friends, meditators, that carried a small little torch with them. So they use that to project light anytime, maybe early morning, project light on the wall, and you can use that for light Kasiṇa. And I think colors is not too difficult to make. Now we can buy papers of all colors. No, we can buy red papers and color all the circle, and it's not so difficult. No, so yeah, I think it's possible. Not too difficult to make something actually physical, but whether we can use, let's say, fire in the computer or not, I will see the opinion of my teacher, because I don't think the Buddha said anything about it at the time. There's no computer, so we'll see. Is that okay, Edith?
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So yes, Claudia.
Yeah, I heard that you can use the fan for do the wind element. You put your face in front of the fan.
And you can feel the wind. No, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can feel the hair.
All right. Thank you. And Sanda?
I saw that every Kasiṇa, I mean, almost all of them have this roundness, the shape of round. Why is it? Why is that?
Yeah, somehow the teacher says that this circle, this round, it's easier for the mind to concentrate and easier for the mind to get that object somehow. So I imagine I do not have a very logical explanation about it, but somehow by feeling personally, I feel the round thing, it's kind of gentle to take, no? Like if you get a square or a triangle, somehow it's like more harsh, little bit, the feeling harsh for the mind to get concentrate on this, like let's say a red triangle or something, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, they recommend a circle. Well, I will ask if there is any specific reason to that, but personal feeling, I think that's gentle and easy for the mind to, like, not much angle and things that the mind can get distracted into, and the perfections, like for example, the earth, when we made it, there are some kind of imperfection there, and slowly those will also become clear and clear, like a polished mirror, no? So in that case, like it becomes clear and without so much like harsh angles and things. I think it's easy for the mind to concentrate on.
Yeah, I had the same idea that an angle can become a concept that the mind tends to cling on, and that's why I made.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
I agree with that. Okay. All right. So until here, today we have explored the 10 Kasiṇa disc, and the next group that we are going to look at will be the Asubha, the non-beautiful. So I think because it's almost time, so I think we will stop here, and then we will leave the other kinds of meditation object for the next session. And just for as a little preparation for our mind, when we look at the Asubha, we're going to look at it with the mindset of a doctor, okay, or a medical practitioner, no? So because sometimes we are going to look at something that is unpleasant, and generally, this Asubha, the non-beautiful, is actually is reality itself. It's reality itself, but it is something that we do not focus on usually, So what is it about? It's actually about the different stage of decomposition of that body. So that's Asubha. That's the non-beautiful aspect of this body, So this is also a contemplation, a type of meditation object. So we are going to look at this in next week, right? So we will have the different stages. So it is recommended by the Buddha for the monks, and also for whoever practitioner, not necessarily only monks, to look and contemplate on the different stages of the decomposition of the body, to see the non-beautiful aspect of this body. Nowadays, it's very difficult to see a real dead body, because in old times. Now, sometimes in Asia, still it is possible, but usually now it is all hidden. No? So as soon as like the person passed away, it's being taken away. So they are not left in the cemetery anymore, and so it's not easy to have the opportunity to see this different stages of decomposition. But anyway, as an introduction of this type of meditation object, we will go through it next week. Okay. All right. So until here, and how is everyone? Is everyone good? Any questions? Any comments? How do you feel about today's session? Anyone wants to share anything? Yes, Edith?
I guess I'm thinking that I mean, I haven't really given time to practice samatha, so, and I bet or guess that many of us didn't do many hours of or years of practice of this, so I feel inexperienced, but at the same time pretty curious. I've always been curious a little bit, so I'm just not sure if I have enough time, or should I invest in this or not.
Now, sometimes I think, of course, it is most important vipassana, no? It is because this is the way that leads to liberation, leads to the growth of wisdom, no? That's necessary, very important. But sometimes the mind can be very scattered. Yeah. So we try to practice vipassana, but the mind is very scattered. So at some time, this samatha meditation is very helpful to collect the mind. We might not, it might not be, it depends on the person, no, on what you want, how you want to practice. Sometimes we might not need to practice until jhana. Yeah, but a little bit of samatha meditation would be good to concentrate the mind. Is like sharpening the tool, no? Let's say we want to see ultimate reality, but the mind is all over the place. So how are we gonna, well, there's no concentration at all. How are we going to understand the realities? That's impossible, no? So at some point we can make use of this kind of tools, samatha tools, and concentrate the mind, get the mind collected, then we change into samatha. Then vipassana. When it is necessary, we can come back to a little bit of concentration, and then we can go to vipassana again. Actually, the Buddha himself practiced it this way. When he got enlightened, the Buddha went into jhana, and because the Buddha used a very difficult vipassana object, he contemplated on the dependent origination in both ways, from the beginning to the end and from the end to the beginning. That's the meditation, vipassana meditation object of the Buddha, no? So in order for the Buddha to contemplate on that so difficult object, he also needed to sharpen his mind. So the Buddha went into jhana to sharpen the mind. Then he comes out from the jhana, contemplate on those factors of the dependent origination. Then when he thinks it's necessary, he went back to jhana again to sharpen the mind, and then he comes again to analyze those factors. So it is useful in this way. Of course, I'm not talking about such a high level of practice for us at this moment, but I mean it can be a tool that we can, when we feel that the mind is too scattered, is not getting anywhere in the vipassana practice, then why not? We use 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then we concentrate on, let's say, the breath, anapana. If you don't want to make any Kasiṇa this, just use the breath. It's always with us. It doesn't go anywhere else. We can't even leave it, put it somewhere and forget it. Not possible, no? It's always there. So use anapana and concentrate the mind and practice vipassana again. Or maybe you never know. Maybe if you practice, maybe you can get jhana also, right? It's possible. Okay.
Thank you.
Claudia?
I just want to thank you for the lesson of today. It was very interesting. I realized that when I want to practice Vipassana, yeah, so I was saying that I use a little bit of Anapana for concentrate, because Vipassana starts straight away with the Vipassana for me sometimes is very difficult with all the distraction. When I arrive to the center to do the course, I just can concentrate after 1 or 2 days of practice. It's not that straight away I will get my mind concentrated.
Yeah.
So thank you for explaining this one. Maybe it can be useful for us for concentrate, because sometimes I feel that you have learned Vipassana practice, fan of it, so you don't want to. I have heard many people that all practice one thing, so practice another one, but you can practice different things.
Yes, of
for
course.
me, from my experience, you know.
As long as now the thing is, if this tool is helpful to increase our good quality of the mind and decrease the bad quality of the mind, it's a good tool. Yeah, anything that helps to develop our good quality, mindfulness, concentration, wisdom, and anything that is helpful for that is a good tool. So like a carpenter, like a skillful carpenter, we have a toolbox and we have a lot of tools there. And depending on the situation, we need to use different tools. No, let's say we want to put a nail on the wall. We don't use a screwdriver, right? It's not helpful. Right? We need a hammer. Yeah. So depending on the situation, on the job, on the task that you want to accomplish at the time, we have a lot of tools. We can use this and we can use that, and it can be a combination. Yeah. So we need to be smart in our practice. We cannot say, oh, okay, I only do this way. Even if I'm sleeping, I'm still sitting here. If I'm sleeping and I'm like falling asleep, I'm still sitting here. No, we need to be smart. Like, what am I doing if I'm sitting here 2 hours and just falling asleep? But I should go up and wash my face or do something, or even take a nap for 15 minutes. Then maybe I come back and then the other whole hour I will be awake. Yeah. So that's smart, right? We need to make use of different tools in different situations and see what's best. No, just like anything that we want to do in life, also in the same way, right? Okay, so anything that is helpful to cultivate our good quality is a good tool. No. So, but we cannot say that, oh, okay, I'm sleepy, I go watch a movie and and then later I come back for meditation. Oh, maybe that is not helpful for development. No, maybe that will create more loba or something. No, so we need to be smart, but choose the good tools, no, things that help our development. Yeah. All right. Yes, Sanda.
Yeah, you asked for feedback, and I was thinking that for me it was as a continuation of the discussions. It was very surprising when you said that an arahant uses samatha meditation. But now talking, I remember from the text that Buddha used to go into jhana. But yeah, that was surprising for me, and maybe a question if or not. I don't know. I was thinking at the scenario when an arahant becomes an arahant only through vipassana, then would that person also use samatha as an arahant? But I don't know if that's helpful. It's more curiosity, but thank you.
Yeah, why not? Like, let's say there are person who attained arahantship by purely vipassana, no? So the person did not practice any jhana, but he or she attained arahantship, no? So no more defilements. Then would this person practice samatha? No? Well, this is very individual, no? So some people might want to, some people might not want to. But for an arahant, it's very easy to get jhana. Because there is no more defilements in the mind. What are the big hindrances about getting jhana? 5 hindrances, no? So like the sensual desire, ill will, the sloth and torpor, and all these are gone for an arahant. So for there is no hindrances at all in him. So if the arahant wants to practice jhana, so it will be much easier for him to get jhana than for another person, right? Then why would an arahant want to practice samatha? That's because it calms the mind. The mind is very busy, not because it has defilements, but because the mind is constantly taking this object, taking that object. There is no rest at all. There's rising and falling, rising and falling, rising and falling, always constantly doing something. It's tiring. It's not calm. No, for ordinary people, we might not feel that way because we have not experienced that kind of calmness. So the level is different. Say if I take a piece of, let's say a sand, yeah, a piece of sand from the beach, like very small sand. If I put it on my palm, does it hurt? No, not at all, right? Now try take this piece of sand, put it in your eye. Does it hurt? Same sand, yeah, but the sensitivity is different, right? We are as gross as the palm, we don't feel anything. But for the mind of the arahant, it will be like the eye. So this constant arising and falling, it's so tiring. So to take a break, he might maybe practice phala samapatti and attain phala and enjoy the peace of nibbana, or practice jhana and stay focused on one object, and the mind will be much more peaceful than always arising, falling, jumping, like getting different objects like that, no?
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so all good? Anyone else? Anything? No? Okay, so in this case, let's close and let's dedicate our merit for the attainment of Nibbana, and also we share merits with all beings. Okay, let's recite together. Itam no punyam nibbānassa paccaya hotu. Itam no punyam nibbānassa paccaya hotu. Itam no punyam nibbānassa paccaya hotu. Itam no punyam savasatanam bhajima. Itam no punyam savasatanam bhajima. Itam no punyam savasatanam bhajima. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll continue next week. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have a
See you.
very wonderful week ahead. See you.